Hi, and welcome back to A Grounded Quarantine. For today and the remainder of the week, I'm hoping to provide you with just some first aid for your relationships. This is a very difficult time. We are asking a lot of ourselves. Our roles have changed dramatically. The amount of time we're spending together has changed dramatically. And I think it's been a little difficult for some people to find some grounding in their relationship. So my hope today and for the rest of the week is just to give you some tools, some things to think about, to create some ease, to make this part of our lives not quite so arduous. First thing that I want to talk to you about is this idea of having maybe a family meeting and creating a list of the new or existing responsibilities that you find in your household. So it may be that you had services that came in and helped with certain things, and those have gone, right? Maybe you had a nanny or a babysitter. Maybe you had a cleaning service. Maybe you just weren't in the house as often, so the dishes didn't need to be done every 5 minutes, or the laundry wasn't piling up quite like it is now. So just making a list of what bills need to be paid and when, what responsibilities are there around the household in terms of, like we said, laundry, wiping down the kitchen table, doing the dishes, doing the cooking, making as exhaustive a list as you can, and then sitting down with the people you live with and trying to figure out who is willing and who is able to do different tasks. So when we do this and we delineate the roles and it's clear what the expectations are of everyone, we're reducing the likelihood of having resentment, and we're reducing the likelihood of scorekeeping because we've agreed to these things. Okay, so what do I mean by scorekeeping? I think most of you know, but in case you don't, scorekeeping is when I say, I've done the laundry this week, I've gone to work this week, I've done this, this, and this, and you haven't done anything, right? We use a lot of all the time, never, those kinds of language when we get into these arguments. And they're very unhelpful. I think that's probably a given. But so in order to avoid that scorekeeping, that competitiveness, and really work together as a team, it's helpful for us to know what roles need to be fulfilled, who's going to do what, and have some agreement and buy-in on that. Now, there are some of us who prefer things to be done in a certain way. Okay, now that's fine as long as you're willing to do them and you don't then have this martyr syndrome of I have to do everything. If you want it done a certain way, then you do it that certain way, but then you don't get to hold it over everyone else's head that you're doing everything. Okay, so the cake or eat it, but not both. Okay, so if you can relax some of that and share those responsibilities, then that's another way of doing it. So we're making sure that we're not martyring ourselves. We're making sure that we are doing all the things that we've talked about in previous sessions where we're taking care of ourselves. We are having grounding practices. We're waking up in the morning and spending some time on our needs before we start to meet the household's needs. So all of that is still in play. The roles in the household obviously are changing as well. So not only are there the tasks that need to be completed, the responsibilities on that front, but there's also roles in terms of now we have maybe childcare, maybe we have the needs of educating for the kids that we didn't have before. Maybe we are, normally this person does the outdoor work and this person does the indoor work, and we're finding that actually we need to share that because this person needs some outdoor time. So again, looking at the roles, who does what in the household from an activity standpoint, but also from a care standpoint, which I think are a little different. I think of the activities of the household as more of the business, like we talked about, and then the care roles, spending time, quality time, investment of energy in each other. That's more of what I mean when I say roles. Okay, so lots of stressors right now. Regroup, try to work at it as a team approach. And don't forget that your kids can be helpful too, and they thrive on some structure, and it's wonderful for them to have responsibility too. The last thing that I want to leave you with is it is a lot easier to accomplish these tasks, to do these activities when we feel appreciated. So another note to take is try very diligently to pay attention to what the other members of your household are doing for the household, and acknowledge that. Give them praise. Tell them how much it means to you and how relieving it is and how it's so nice to see them do X, Y, or Z. You got to make sure that you don't say this from a place of anger or resentment or judgment, and then it doesn't come across condescendingly. But if you've done everything else that we've talked about, then it shouldn't. It should come across as very authentic and genuine, that you just genuinely appreciate that you're all in this together, and that will make your lives a little easier in this stressful time. So tomorrow we'll talk about another way, another little first aid kit for your relationships. I hope this has been helpful. As always, eat the avocado, leave the peel, plant the seed.